Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Terri Winfred if you're seeing me for the very first time, but you can call me Terri. If you're not seeing me for the very first time, however, that means you're subscribed to my channel. That means you're a cousin, and it gives me a great honor, joy, and privilege to be a cousin. And yeah, I'm excited to have you guys here. I know it's been such a long time since we've had a conversation, and let me tell you, this one is juicy. Juicy? Somebody said juicy? No, but not really. It's not all that juicy. But I mean, you be the judge of that. Just stay put. Stay put. Be the judge of that. First and foremost, we cannot ignore how beautiful I'm looking. We cannot ignore it. That's the elephant in it. You'd think I'm a really conceited human being if interacting with me for the very first time, yeah? Anyway, I think I look very cute today, and the colors are like monotonal-ish. You know, the top is matching the nails, it's matching the hair, the eyeshadow. And TTW Beauty did that. TTW Beauty did that. Okay, so now let's get to the conversation. I have my notes in here, and today, the topic we're having today is, yeah, it's one of like my favorite topics to have, like love and human interaction, human relations. I don't know, I find human beings very intriguing. Like, if you just pay attention, people can surprise you in the most beautiful way, but also in the nastiest of ways. But we're not paying attention to that. We want to feed what is beautiful and what is good. Cindy, on feeding what is good and what is beautiful, today's conversation is has been brought about by two comments that I got in the recent past, one on my IG and then the other one on one of the videos I've done. Might be the same person, I'm not sure. So that's where the genesis of this conversation has come from. A bit of conversation here and there, like on one-on-ones I've had with like friends and family around, but like hiyo sana ndo inanifanya nina realize here we might need to address this. So the topic is about love, and I love love. I think love is such a beautiful thing to experience in this life. Like the wholesome, beautiful, genuine, respectful kind of love, when it's both ways. Oh my God. On feeding the good stuff, if I'm to take the comments and DM as they are, they seem to have thought that it was coming from a good place, but how it was received, however, or rather the wording was just yeah. So instead of like getting bitter about it, I thought this would be a learning curve. This would be something to teach. Not that me, I know everything, but from my experience, I think I have quite a bit of knowledge that I can share on matters love. Okay, and today we're going to be addressing both platonic as well as romantic. But even romantic ndio inakuanga juicy. You know that, I know that, we both know that, so let's not pretend. I will have a bit of romantic stories in there, as well as the platonic bits that have made me this, I was about to say guru, like that's made me this knowledgeable person when it comes to matters love and human interaction. Okay, cool. So if you know me, then you know that I like to like go back, retrospect, and address those things, and then see how it's played a part and where we're at now. Alafu, what does that look like in the future and things like that. Yani, we like to think on this channel. Tunatumianga ubongo bila kuogopa. I hope you're one of those people as well, because those are the kind of people I like. Like, you're not afraid to apply your brain. Please don't be afraid to apply your brain. It has been given to you freely. Use it. Anyway, oh gosh, that sounds like I might be bashing someone. I don't mean to. Cool. From conversations like with like friends and just people generally, I think I fall in the category of privilege, where I have gotten to experience beautiful, genuine, respectful kind of love. None of the insist na respectful, because I feel like the respect bit is what makes the friendship even friendship, and it makes the relationship, the romantic one especially, become even more like it's beyond the I love you too. It's beyond the lonely days. It's it transcends that. It becomes more of a friendship, like you genuinely care for this person. Anyway, so I have been privileged to have experienced romantic love, I think 2 to 3, let's say 2.5 2.5 times. The half bit is because I was the problem. I broke it off because I felt like they didn't have the emotional capacity, the mental and emotional capacity to deal with the person that I was and was becoming. Yani, like to deal with my past and things that I've dealt with, learning to just handle me. And I might have been wrong in my judgment of that, but hey, here we are, 2.5. Oh gosh, but that was the problem. I broke it off without having like had the actual conversation. But you know, sometimes you don't really need to have that conversation because you have gauged from what you hear them say about certain topics, or you've heard them say about this and that and that. So you're like, this is where you stand with that, eh? Thank you, noted. It's been nice. That's okay. That's the move I pulled. Oh man, I should have given him a chance to anyway, Shapita. So I've been, like I was saying, I'm one of those people that have been privileged to have experienced that twice. Let me just say twice, yeah? To have experienced that twice. Because there are people out here like well into their 30s, maybe even 40s, and they haven't experienced that at all. And it's just like, wait, Aki, I'm sorry. Like, I wish love for you, but just not me. Not me though. But I wish love for you. Anyway, so my first realization of, man, you really love me, was with my dad. So growing up, my biological dad, that is, if you've been here for a while, then you know I have an adoptive dad. My parents passed on when I was young, so I have my biological father and I have my adoptive dad that I have to now. So my biological father, I am his only daughter. We are 4 siblings and I am his only daughter, right? So I remember there's this time I overheard my moms and papa talking, my mom and dad talking, and I think mom was just saying how she feels like a villain. Like, I had it in passing, she feels like a villain, she's the disciplinarian of the family, so now she's like the bad one. And so dad was like, yeah, I will listen to my wife. Okay, no, I don't that's not how my dad used to talk, I promise. Actually, I don't think I remember. I wouldn't. But he was a very gentle man, like gentle, chill. He was that kind of a man. Even her head me talk on my mango. Anyway, so this one time, because after that discussion, with my brother that comes after me, I didn't like him. Let me just tell you. Then right now we're like the closest of us 4. But then I didn't like him. He came and took my position as a last born. He came and he's cheeky and playful, and he was a lot for me. So we'd get into it all the time. So now this one time, I don't know what I did. I think I was on the wrong. Why was I on the wrong? I think he had offended. Alikuwa amenichokoza, then I bet him first for something he'd done before. I don't know. But we were at it, yeah. And I remember coming to my dad, but I know I was on the wrong. Nilimkosea. So I came and I don't know if my dad found us, ama we went to my dad, one of those, yeah. So my dad was there, and then we're explaining what happened. So I say what happened. I'm like, oh, I'm in chokoza. You know, the very blanket statements. So I'm in chokoza. I haven't gone into the details of what happened because I know I was on the wrong. Because I knew I was on the wrong. And then my brother goes into the details and anasema kila kitu. And clearly he was on the right. I was on the wrong. So then, my brother got beaten. And I didn't. Because I remember thinking, with even these explanations, he's on the wrong, Like, I'm on the wrong. He should beat me. And this is the first time my dad is beating any of us, right? So it was just like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't think you would get there, but like, what can I do? He's made the judgment. So I remember in that moment thinking, wow, this man really loves me. Like, I'm on the wrong, but here we are. This man really loves me. So love, for me, my first interaction with love had high tones. I was about to say undertones. It had high tones of favor and I love you because I love you. Do you get that? I love you because I love you. No reason whatsoever. I love you simply because I love you. And you're highly favored. So why that was my very first realization of love, moving in hindsight, is because now fast forward, my parents have passed on and I've moved in with my uncle and his wife, right? So for the first couple of time is very, I can't tell the time. I can't tell if it was a month, a year, or weeks into the staying together. But I remember thinking, wow, this is so good. Like, it doesn't even feel like I've lost my parents, because also now they were wealthier than my parents were. So like I had access to more things. So it felt like, wow, this is actually the life. But I did miss my parents, yeah. But I remember thinking, it doesn't feel like I've actually lost my parents, because they're genuinely nice and kind to me. And I was actually told, you can call us mom and dad, right? So it was nice. But now, after a couple of, again, I can't tell if it was months or years or weeks, a bit of time passed, and the woman became very vile towards me. Like, yo, who would have thought of it? Even up to now, I'm still healing. Up to now, it still kind of gives me chills and makes me wonder, like, why? You know, like, was it necessary? What did I actually do? Think emotional, mental, physical, and verbal abuse, all of it. Now, you see those Nigerian movies for orphans? Yeah. Apply, Terri. But now, because, you know, it's not, and that's not me being hyperbolic, because my mother bet me like a good number of times, and I don't remember feeling like, wow, this one is gonna kill me. I don't remember feeling like that. I remember thinking, maybe you don't love me, but I don't remember feeling like this is gonna kill me. Because well, to the point where your head is banged against the wall, my friend, you're beating to kill, right? My biological mom, she'd beat me, yeah. Maybe because of how well she had known and interacted with me, she knew those. I'm thinking of a specific time where she bet me, and I was so sure I wasn't on the wrong. I don't even remember the whole story, but nakumbuka, I wasn't on the wrong. And I've tried to explain it to her. She's not listening. She's chapped me, and so now after Mishani chapa nishalia, like I'm so angry. Maybe it's because of how she knew me and knowing how I cried and when I was wrong. I don't know. But for this particular one, the one that I know I was accused of and I wasn't on the wrong, she actually apologized, you know. And that marks the difference. My mom, she knew me and she loved me. Even her beating didn't feel like you're about to die. Any second now you're about to die. Now with this other one, it was like that. And I remember feeling like I had to earn this love, like, because like, in as much as, okay, so there was a nanny and there was a house manager, so there wasn't much of house chores per se, but watu wakishakula, I had to be like, watu wakishakula, I needed to make sure the table has been wiped, you know. Yani, this love had to be earned. Like, man, I don't even know how to explain all these things. Clearing the table, I had to wipe the table, and in a certain way, yani, it was works. I had to do acrobatics to just be acknowledged, because even, and not just to be acknowledged, to just survive, really, because it came to a point where even like when you be called like Terri, and then you respond yes, there was a problem. Like, my responding was wrong. So it's like, how wrong can a yes be? Oh my goodness. Saizi ukinipata hapa, me just relishing in my peace and quiet in my own house. Just let me be, okay? Yeah. So anyway, I think, yeah, that's what makes the big difference. So coming from having experienced love where I love you because I love you, to now having to do acrobatics to just survive really, because any minute you could be beaten, you could be abused, you could be any minute, okay? So that's where I learned the difference. So a couple of I think at this point I was still dealing with my adoptive mother and all of that. So I was still going to school and all of this. So I remember my first heartbreak, not from a man, it was a friendship. And so in primary school, I was in the swimming team, right? And every lunch hour we'd go for like rehearsals, just brako here and there, alafu there are 2 bells normally to get back to class, alafu now to start. I don't know what that was about. There are 2 bells, yeah? Sindo. I'd always have like a bottle of lotion in my desk or in my bag somewhere, but mostly in my desk. What would I do? So bell ikiring ya kwenda lunch, you go get your lunch, peleka huko swimming area ama peleka class, swim, maliza kuja, bell ikiring kuja, kuja class, kula raka as you lotion. So it's just face, hands, feet, done, right? So I remember this one time, I don't know what I'd done to deserve that, honestly. It was very puzzling. So I remember this time the class like 90% of the classroom, 90% of the people in class spat in my lotion, right? So now I don't know, I still in that same classroom I thought I had at least one friend who hata hiyo kama imefanyika angefanya hivyo. So I remember in class najipaka mafuta watu wanacheka, so I'm just like whatever man, maybe ni joke ili happen lunchtime ikanipita and that's fine. Haya. So when somebody later on came and told me, so I didn't find out about people spitting in my lotion until later on. Someone told me, I think someone who were in the same class, maybe part of the 10% that didn't participate, I don't know, but someone told me, I don't remember who, I wish I could. Anyway, so someone told me, and they told me, so someone told me that people spat in my lotion. So now I had this friend in class, the one we'd walk home with, because it was a walking distance. And I kept asking her, like, who spat in my lotion? I know people spat in my lotion. Who spat in my lotion? So you tell me. And she was just like, no, I don't. She just never told me. Kumbe, come to find out, she was among the people who spat in my lotion. Now, tell me that this... Let me tell you, that thing really, oh my God. That one broke me. Kabisa, because now you're thinking, this is my friend. At what point, Amma, what did I do for you to do this towards me? And if I'm not your friend at all, why are you hanging out with me? Like, why? Just why? Like, it wasn't making sense. Up to date, it still doesn't make sense, but so much time has already passed. It's just like, whatever. And so like, okay, I think at that point, at that time, that must have been, I was in class, I think class 6, 7 Apple. And that's when I realized you can be somebody's friend, or someone can be your friend, but you're not necessarily their friend. Okay? So we're still talking about love and platonic, parental love, So we're addressing love generally. I hope sijakupoteza up until this point. I'm getting to the point. I'm getting there, I promise. Okay, so fast forward, primary, we're done with that. High school, we're done with that. Just after high school, I got my first... No, that wasn't the first one. The first one was the half one. So the second one, but now it's for real, the first boyfriend. Because now this is when I was just becoming an adult, not really out of parental whatever. Oh, and my adoptive mom had already passed, like when I was in class 8. So Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, there's a bit of rebellion and still trying to figure out who I am, trying to get my voice and things like that. So like Form 4, at the end of high school, I was still just really trying to rediscover myself. I still had like a very timid approach towards life because I had been crushed down, mentally, emotionally, verbally, physically. At least no one was beating me in high school. So yeah, so yeah, I was a very, oh my god, looking back, I feel like I should just hug her and tell her it's gonna be okay. Poor girl. To be the person that I am here today, mine is a testimony of God healing, and healing completely. Mentally, emotionally, and physically, but I mean, he's healed me a couple of times, but like, you know, I'm a testimony of God's healing. So anyway, so this boyfriend, why he's so ukoju, he was my first realization of like love and romantic love and wholesome and being seen, known, heard, and wanted. Okay, so this one time he sends me to town. He sends me to his movie guy in town. Now, personally, I didn't like going to town. I wasn't very knowledgeable of town, so but he had already introduced me to his movie guy in town. So going to get him movies, and then we meet at Yaya Center, because that's where I would always meet. Yaya Center was closer to home. Excuse me. Yaya Center was closer to home, and he knew I was broke. So like, if he didn't come to Yaya, he'd come at town and you're weak. So he'd always come to Yaya and would go to Java or just whatever else. So this one time he sends me to town. So he sends me money, I go to town, get his movies, and come back. And he's at Yaya, he's around Yaya. So he's not at Yaya Center kama kawaida, because I'd meet him either like at Yaya Center, especially Java, and then like, you know, have our date and talk, and then he'd walk me home. And then aende kivyake, aende kwao. So this time, nafika, nenda kuingia, he's like, yeah, so where are you? Because we're talking all along, yeah? He's like, where are you? Just kuja around, niko east side the petrol station. There's a petrol station opposite, yeah. Like, come to the petrol station. So I'm like, what are you doing at the petrol station? Like, what's happening? He's like, yeah, you just come. Yeah, just come. I'm over here. You can give me from over here. I'm like, okay. Because now I'm like, at 20 birthday dates, like, sijakona wiki, what's your problem? So, right, I peleka for him the CD. So I see him from a distance, and like, lights off, and I'm going to have my hands, and I knew I was going to get a kiss on the forehead that, you know, in the poteza ubongo. But this time he didn't kiss me on the forehead, right? And then kidogo, so I'm like, today is just very off, very off, sir. So he needs kidogo, just before I could even finish that thought, the mom like, alitokezea, sijui alitokezea wapi kutoka, by the way. Maybe alikuwa all along, I just didn't notice her, didn't see her, because me, I've seen what my eyes attracted to, and that's it. So the mom steps out. At this point, I don't know it's a mom. So it's like, mom, aren't you to meet my girlfriend? Terri, this is my mom, this is Terri. So just I froze. Because remember, I was a very timid babe. Yo, hey. Because at this point, I'm still afraid of like adults, and because nikiona tu adults, and especially women, najua tu kisha huyu sasa ni mimi nimeharibu mtoto wake, ni mimi ndo mbaya, ni mimi naenda kuchapwa kidogo. Yani I was, oh my god. Yeah, so anyway, I met the mom, and then later on, so nikampatia CD zake, wakaenda na mamake, mimi nikaenda kwetu. Actually, they dropped me off. Did they? No, because the friend was there, so there's no way hakukuwa na space. So wakaenda zao, mimi nikaenda kwetu. Haya. So as we were talking, bado kwa njia, we're talking, and anatumia my dedics. Oh my god, I miss those days for dedics. Anatumia my dedics, you know, and things like that. Then akifika home, he calls like, hey babe, what's up? So tunaongea like, so how is it meeting my mom? I'm like, yo, if you'd have told me, I wouldn't have come. It's like, yeah, I know that babe, I know you, like, that's why I didn't tell you. So I'm like, guys, so now what does your mom think? Like, she's easy. I had told her prior. So like, oh my god. So you see, it makes you feel like, oh my god, you actually want me. Anyway, so yeah, so I think in that moment and in that instance, I have never felt as seen and as wanted and as respected. Okay, maybe not respect, but like seen and wanted for just the core of who I am, for just being Terri. Yeah. So it felt really nice. It felt really nice because he knew I wasn't gonna meet the parents, and he had kind of like pieced together the two traumas. It's because of my two past traumas that would have never been a possibility for us to do. So now it was just like, oh my God, you love me, you really, really love me. I felt seen, understood, wanted, and appreciated. So back to it's like, and let me tell you, before this relationship ended, I think this man literally loved me back to life, loved me back to being the confident Terri that I was as a child growing up. Because as a child, I'm gonna get it. Because I honestly think my introversion is something that I have learned to become. I think if I had grown up with my biological parents, I would have been the extrovert. You know? Anyway, so that was my first boyfriend, and that one taught me what it feels like, what it looks like to be seen, to be wanted, and to be known, right? So now came in my second relationship, right? And this one, I was so affirmed. Bakoko, I'm not seeing my worth, I'm not seeing my value. Unaiona. I felt so affirmed. I was very affirmed. I was taken care of. Let me tell you, your relationship inanifanyanga na feel too aki. When it starts to rain, like at 6 p.m, 7 p.m, I get so lonely. Those are the times I'm very lonely because I got so used to nikiona, rather when the weather was getting dark and it started to kind of like look like it was going to pour. Ningepiga simu, babe, uko wapi? Okay, sawa. Oh, not uko wapi. Okay, where are you, babe? Okay, sawa. How soon are you gonna get home? How far is that from the house? Will you need to like? Okay, cool. Do this. That's so and so. Anakam kukuchukua. Usinyeshewe. Hey. That was really nice. Also, I have night blindness. So unaimagine uongeze night blindness na mvua ni kuingia mapaddles tu. Mimi na paddles. So alikuwa anajua that bit. So this relationship had me feeling very confident, like I can do anything. Like this one is by my side, eh? I can do anything. Later. My bad, sorry girl, sorry. Like bring it on, I got this, I can do it. It gave me such a chest, yani nipe kifua kidogo kiburi. Pia kiburi to an extent. But yeah, it gave me so much chest, and I also learned what it looks like to be corrected lovingly. It also, oh my god, because we said some really hurtful things to each other, but like not hurtful, it's only hurtful to the ego, but in the long term, it was helpful to both of us. Like it was helpful for me as an individual and helpful towards them as an individual, but in the apple katikati ikisemwa, it's just like right? I hope Nani gets. I hope we're together up until this point. I hope we're together. And it wasn't really just about the provision, like financially or anything. It's just, it gives you such confidence to like, you feel like you can take on the world. I feel like I've said that. I don't know if you understand. It's like, fine, whatever, yani it felt like whatever the world brings, I can take it. I might fall, I might break my leg, I might even break my neck, but I will not shatter. That's what it felt like. And it's not because they have the finances to like sort out everything, and it's not like they're the strongest, they can figure out everything, but that feeling of security and love, there's a certain that's what I'm saying. I wish this for everybody. Oh my god, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I have been privileged. I have experienced the worst but I've also some of the best that have made the person that I am, because I have grown out of those things, right? And here we are teaching you a thing or two about it. So later on, this is now an adult, like a serious am I a serious adult? I'm more a grown adult, yeah. I'm a grown adult, and juicy too. I go through this classes, this, what do you call them? You call them classes, yeah? Like classes, 30 by 30, where it's a couple that teach 30 things they wish they had learned before they turned 30, and it covers everything. And I feel like for me, these classes, it gave me vocabulary. Was it like a workshop? I don't, let's just call it a class, yeah? Because, yeah, it was a class. Anyway, so I feel like it gave me vocabulary on like how to measure friendships and even romantic relationships. It just gives me vocabulary. Okay, well, first, the classes in general, I highly recommend for anyone and everyone, okay? Because for me, what it did, it gave me like a guide of some sort, like a roadmap to doing this life, and especially as a believer. I mean, if you're not a believer, you could also go, because there's some principles that apply to everyone, really. It's only that now, as for a believer, there are biblical references to it, and it just cements your beliefs and values and how to chart the everyday walk as a believer. It's dealt with relations, it dealt with money, it dealt with health, yani just everything. So I highly recommend this for people. So now, what it taught me about love is that it can be measured, okay? So the measuring tools, or like guidelines to measure whether the relationship is healthy or wholesome, whatever. Insert a good word, akumbele, a healthy relationship, a wholesome relationship, or just a fulfilling, that's the word, a fulfilling relationship, whether romantic or platonic, okay? So some of the measuring tools, there is 4, yeah? Shared values. And I think before you get to even the shared values, you must have, oh my God, self-awareness is very important. Let me tell you that. If you haven't gotten anything from this channel, I hope that you get to see that I'm a very self-aware human being. I am a very self-aware, and you can't talk about shared values if you're not self-aware enough to know your own values. Do you get what I mean? Do you get where I'm coming from? So self-awareness is very important, okay? So shared values was one of the measuring tools you could use to gauge whether the relationships are fulfilling. Number 2, if it is mutually beneficial, okay? Where you don't feel like you're being stifled. Unajua, you can, kuna some relationships that nimeona watu wakifanya that feels dutiful. And I'm just like, I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it. Do you get? Yeah, so if it's mutually beneficial, and that's not like the world's perspective. When I say world, I mean outside of Christian context. That's not the world's perspective. Yeah. Well, okay, the world's perspective is that you're a sum of the 5 people you hang around with, you know, they have to be better than you, and you, what are you offering them? Because they're better than you, what are you offering them? See how sasa they'll feel like you're just leeching and parasites. I'm just saying. So yeah, let it be mutually beneficial. Alafu, number 3 is acceptance, fully accepted and acceptance. Let me tell you something about this one. So this is where I think the issue comes in with the comment that I received. So in those 2 comments, it was blah 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 blah, nice sweet words, and then blah blah blah, a lot of junk that was unnecessary, and then the message there was, you talk too much. So, and I was just like, true. There's some truth to that, but like, siongangi nonsense. Una get? So like, if there's, so I'm like, okay. So you don't like if I talk a lot, but what do I say? It's not, so then I started to think, okay, well, in that moment I was a bit in my feelings, but I was like, okay, maybe uyu anijui well enough to know that maybe I'm just trying to clarify something, and it's okay if you don't accept me. Maybe you're not accepting of who I am, because let me give you an example. With the second relationship, I remember this one time we had sat down to eat, and alikuwa na slap, like making noises with the food. And I think in your relationship alikuwa before, alikuwa game, ama just the people alikuwa me interact now before, alikuwa gamezoea kuambiwa you're eating too loudly, things like that. But sasa mimi nikiwa tumekaa hapo tunakula, it didn't bother me at all. Because in my head I was thinking, wow, it's nice that you're enjoying the food that much. Like, that's what it registered. Like, it didn't bother me in that instance. But I'm sure tungekuwa tumekasirikiana ingeni bother. But in that instance I was like, no, it lets me know that you're enjoying the food. So yeah, no, please slap on, don't stop yourself. I beg, eat, my friend, eat. So yeah, yeah. So that's one of the differences. That's one of the examples. So now I came back to thinking, maybe you haven't really accepted me as you think you have, because I am one person that likes to give clarity, and I don't think anyone who is healthy mentally and emotionally thrives on ambiguity. I personally wouldn't thrive on ambiguity. I like to know clearly. So like if someone is to give me the extra information and clarification, I'll appreciate that. If anything, isn't that what's called effective communication? So I think that's what it just registered to me. I'm just like, you don't, because alianza na maneno mzuri au watu wawili, ama that maybe that one person alianza na maneno mzuri, oh I love your content, but you talk too much. So I'm like, but my talking too much is what constitutes to my content. So then, do you really like me the way you say you love? Do you love me, and do you love my content as much as you say you do? Because you're not really accepting of who I am, and who I am is the content that I give. Yeah? Okay. So acceptance and accepting fully. So like let me give you oh my god, people are gonna come for me, but please don't come for me. Like for instance, I knew growing up, I had always, like, you know, I don't know, maybe it's societal, or I don't know, like the tall, dark and handsome. I don't know if I like, yeah, I do like tall, dark and handsome. But yeah, tall was always featured in there. I don't care about, handsome is very relative to me. If you're handsome to my eyes, might not necessarily mean the face. I don't care for face, but height I always cared for. Wacha nikajipata one time I was considering, unajua, we didn't get into a relationship, but we were talking. Actually it was a relationship. I think the guy was a narcissist, so he just doesn't count. Like, all bad experiences don't count. Like, man, just count the 2.5 nice ones. Unaona, there's a half. This was just bad. It doesn't even register in my head that it was a relationship. But anyway, the man was pretty short, but I was accepting of him, especially initially, because of, you know, how good of a communicator I thought he was. Kumbe ni kitu alisomea shule, and he was using it to his own benefit to get anyway. I will heal one day, and then we can have that conversation. Today, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about this person, I'm just thinking, idiot. I will heal, and when I heal, I can come back and have like a sober conversation without thinking idiot. But for now, yeah, I count. So, but you see, initially, in that relationship, I was fully accepting of this person and their height. You get, like, it didn't bother me. It wasn't an issue. So I was accepting of them. Ukisha toka relationship ndoko, by the way, alikuwa mfupi. I promise you, I have nothing against short men. But mwenye niko naye aliniterrorize. Sirudi. But anyway, in kuongea tu naongea, and I'm just making fun. If someone is all these other things are aligned, shared values, mutually beneficial, fully accepting of the person, I doubt height plays any role really. Tutanunua tu ladder, tutapanda tu, tutanunua tu ladder, kwani steps tu, we'll be fine. It's not a very big issue, yeah, especially when you look at the big stuff. Height is a very small matter. So, and then the fourth point is mutual trust, okay? Mutual trust, respect, and willingness to explore the friendship. Because sometimes you might be in a place where you are looking for maybe new friends or like just friends in the neighborhood, and then you meet people and they're not willing to explore the friendship. Not that you're a bad person or not that they don't want to. Maybe sometimes, especially as adults, you realize how much energy it actually takes to make and maintain friendships that you just like they're not willing to explore. Not that there's anything wrong with you, but yeah. So mutual trust, respect, and willingness to explore the friendship. So you need to also be able to trust each other. Respect for me is very big. Yeah, I am big on respect. Hapo ndo na feeling, hapo ndo niko na masculine energy. Have you mmekuwa mkifuatilia hii masculine energy, feminine energy? These are my conversations, no? Okay, maybe we'll have that conversation some other time. But yeah, I'm very big on respect. I'd rather you respect me than love me, because you can, you will almost automatically love someone you respect than respect someone you love. Because you can love someone and just not respect them, but when you respect someone, you will love them. Yeah. So yeah. So in closing, I hope I have been of help in your future endeavors as you explore either new or even old friendships and try to like really put them through the sieve and see why exactly are we friends in the first place? Do we have shared values, and what that looks like? Because sometimes people may notice they're just friends because they've known each other for a very long time and that's it. Kuna pair shared values, and I mean, not that now you go on and cut off people. Different people play different roles in our lives, and so long as the respect is mutual, the respect, trust, and willingness to explore the friendship is mutual. You mutually accept. I think the accepting of each other fully really plays a part when you are getting close to someone. When you're getting close, people who you know from a distance, then you don't need to accept them fully because you're not in their space all the time, right? So anyway, I just hope I've helped at least one or two people in their future endeavors when it comes to exploring friendships and or romantic interests. Have intentional relationships. Don't. It makes all the difference. You see this glow? You're welcome. Oh, friendship. I'm not dating. Not now. Please, atansiku kazie. If you wanna date me. Hey, it just sounded like a pick me right there, huh? Anyway, so what does that look like between you and I, my cousins and I? Yeah, I think those who get it, get it. Those who don't, it's okay. And to the person that commented that, I'd like you to maybe interrogate your heart a little bit further and really try to see if really you love me as much as you say you did. Because alianza na mapenzi yuko juu, ilikuwa moto inanuga, and they want all these amazing things for me. And maybe interrogate yourself a little bit more and try to figure out if really you love me as much as you say you do, and what does that actually mean to you? What does love mean to you, And because I'm okay with you not being accepting of me. I'm actually okay with you unsubscribing. Question is, are you? Not to say that comment was a complete waste. It wasn't, because I've also, tried to gauge and see if I could reduce my wording and become as succinct as possible. I'm trying, I'm learning. So it wasn't entirely a waste, okay? It wasn't entirely a waste. Okay, so I hope we've gotten to the heart of the matter, and I hope that this is and will be helpful to other people in the future. That will help you have authentic and fulfilling relationships in your lives. Yeah, I love you. But most importantly, the love that everybody needs to experience. God loves you.